But what if I told you that one tiny coin, the size of a penny, could change your life forever? Imagine holding something worth over $1 million, just tucked away in your drawer. Sounds impossible, but it's real, and it's hiding in plain sight. The story of the 1982 Lincoln penny is one of mystery, mistake, and fortune. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a change, one that almost nobody noticed. Pennies began to be made with a new material, zinc coated with copper, instead of the traditional copper alloy. But a few coins slipped through the cracks. Some were struck in copper instead of zinc. And these rare mistakes, especially those from the Denver Mint, are now worth up to $1.70 million. Think about it. Millions of pennies circulated that year. Thousands of people paid for coffee, groceries, even bus rides, without knowing they might be holding a fortune. That's the drama of this coin. It's ordinary in appearance, yet extraordinary in value. First, check the date. It must be 1982. Then look for the mint mark, a tiny D under the date, signaling it came from Denver. Next, the metal. Most 1982 pennies are zinc. Hold it on a scale. Copper is heavier, denser. There's a subtle weight difference you can feel in your hand. And if you want absolute certainty, a professional coin grading service can confirm whether it's the rare copper 1982 D. But here's the thing. Even seasoned collectors have missed these pennies. The coin looks like every other Lincoln penny in your change. No one expects a fortune hiding among the everyday. That's why every second you spend checking your pennies could uncover a life-changing discovery. Now, imagine the people who accidentally spent these million-dollar coins. One coffee, one vending machine snack, and suddenly, millions vanish into the cash register. Heartbreaking, yet it adds to the legend. And for collectors who know the secret, it's the thrill of the hunt, a chance to turn pocket change into a life-altering treasure. The 1982 D penny is slightly darker than zinc pennies because of the copper content. Under bright light, it has a richer, almost deeper color. And the sound is different too. Drop it on a hard surface and listen. Copper pennies have a higher, sharper ring. It's subtle, but collectors swear by it. Every sensory clue could be the difference between ordinary change and a million-dollar coin. Think about the journey of this penny. Struck at the Denver Mint, lost in a sea of ordinary coins, passed from hand to hand for decades, unnoticed. Now, decades later, the same coin could be sitting in a jar, a wallet, or a drawer, waiting for someone to realize what it really is. That's the emotional pull of this story. It's ordinary yet extraordinary, hidden yet within reach, and there's more. Even the tiniest scratch, the slightest wear, can affect value. Condition is everything. A pristine, uncirculated 1982 D copper penny could fetch the highest prices, but even circulated ones are worth a serious sum. Knowing how to identify it is key. Learn the weight, look for the mint mark, study the color, and listen for the sound. Practice spotting subtle differences. Every penny you examine could be the one that changes your life. Collectors often describe the thrill like finding a secret message in plain sight. You see the coin every day, but only those who know the secret will notice the fortune hiding in the details. This coin has turned ordinary people into millionaires, changed families' lives, and rewritten the stories of countless collectors who stumbled across it at the right time. And here's the mind-blowing part. There's no limit to how many people could still be holding one. Millions of 1982 pennies circulated. Only a few dozen are known to be the rare Denver copper version. That means the chance is incredibly small, and yet it exists. The excitement, the suspense, the hope, it's intoxicating. Start looking. Empty your pockets. Check old jars. Dig through drawers. Examine every 1982 penny with a D mint mark. Feel the weight. Inspect the color. Maybe even drop it lightly and listen. You're not just checking pennies. You're hunting for history, for mystery, for a life-changing discovery. Every coin could be a story. Every coin could be a fortune. Remember, it's not just about money. It's about possibility. It's about the idea that something ordinary, something overlooked, could suddenly become extraordinary. That's what makes the 1982 D penny so powerful. It's not just a coin. It's a symbol of hope, luck, and the incredible hidden opportunities that surround us every day. In 1991, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. They looked ordinary, shining copper, small, easily overlooked. But in that sea of coins, a rare variation emerged, a penny so uncommon that collectors who know about it are quietly paying sums that make most of us stop and stare. Millions are talking about it, but only a few will ever hold it in their hands. It's subtle, nearly invisible unless you know exactly what to look for. On the obverse, you see Lincoln's familiar profile, stoic, timeless. But the magic lies in the mint mark, the tiny D stamped near the date. In some of these pennies, the D was doubled during the minting process. Two mint marks, overlapping ever so slightly, almost like a shadow. This is what separates a normal penny from a piece of hidden treasure worth over $1 million. Imagine holding a coin like this. It's not just copper and ink. It's history, it's rarity, it's the thrill of discovery. Someone, somewhere, who looked in their change one day thought they had nothing but pocket lint. And then they realized they were holding a ticket to a life-changing fortune. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. The backstory of the 1991 D penny isn't fully known. The mint doesn't publish every mistake. These doubled mint mark pennies slipped through quality control, quietly making their way into circulation. One might be in your drawer, your purse, your car's cup holder, completely unrecognized. That's the thrill and the danger. Treasure this rare coin, and suddenly ordinary pennies become a thrilling hunt. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln pennies will tell you, spotting a double D isn't easy. You need a magnifying glass, steady hands, and patience. Look closely at the date. Look at the D. If you see a faint overlap, a whisper of another letter, you're on the edge of something extraordinary. Some of these coins, in pristine condition, have sold for as much as $1.8 million. Imagine trading pocket change for a fortune that could change generations. But here's the catch. The condition matters. Coins scratched, worn, or corroded may not fetch the same astronomical price. That's why collectors obsess over details. The shine of the copper, the crispness of Lincoln's face, the alignment of the letters. Every subtle mark, every microscopic detail matters. And when you finally see it, the faint doubling, it hits you. This is no ordinary penny. You might think, could it really be worth that much? And the answer is yes. There are documented sales, quiet, almost whispered transactions where lucky collectors walked away with millions for a coin that most people would call worthless. It's not just money. It's proof that ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets, that a mistake at the mint can turn into the discovery of a lifetime. No one else knows it's there. You lift it up, tilt it under the light, and something catches your eye. That tiny D looks unusual. There's a shadow, a whisper of a second mint mark. Your heart races because you understand. In that instant, you're staring at a potential million-dollar discovery. The excitement doesn't stop there. There's a story in every 1991 D penny. You can almost imagine the hands it has passed through, pocketed by kids, juggled by cashiers, lost and found countless times. Each coin has a history, but only the rare doubled mint mark variety has the potential to transform someone's life. That's why collectors search tirelessly, examining every penny, every batch, with a quiet obsession. Because they know one small detail can mean millions. Let's pause for a moment and consider what it feels like to be the person who finds this coin. It's not just joy, it's disbelief. They might double-check, maybe even triple-check. Could it really be true? Could this simple, ordinary penny, held in your hand, really be worth $1.8 million? The answer is yes, and the rush, the emotion, is unforgettable. Here's how to identify it clearly. Take your penny under a strong light. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Focus on the D mint mark right below the year. Look for doubling, an overlapping impression, faint but undeniable. Some collectors call it a shadow, some call it a ghost, but whatever you call it, it signals extraordinary value. Compare it to a normal 1991 D penny if you have one. The difference, subtle as it is, could be worth over $1 million. You don't need to hunt in some dusty attic. This coin could already be in circulation. Someone could be spending it at the store tomorrow, completely unaware that it's a fortune in disguise. That's the lure of coin collecting. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the mundane can turn into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Imagine, for a moment, holding a coin that has been overlooked for decades. Copper shining, Lincoln's face staring back at you, and a faint doubled mint mark whispering secrets. You hold history, rarity, and value all in the palm of your hand. And then, the thought hits. This could change everything. A life-altering discovery, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with sharp eyes and patience to see it. Every expert will tell you, the 1991 D doubled mint Mark Lincoln penny is rare, but not impossible to find. It requires knowledge, patience, and an understanding of what makes it special. And once you recognize it, once you see that shadowed D, it's impossible to ignore the potential, impossible not to imagine what life would be like if this penny were yours. Now, take a moment to picture it again. That penny, unassuming, ordinary to everyone else, resting quietly in your hand. The possibility of millions, the thrill of discovery, the emotion of knowing that a single mistake at the mint has made you the keeper of a life-changing treasure. It's rare, it's precious, and it could be closer than you think. You won't believe what I'm about to show you. A coin so ordinary, so easily overlooked, yet hiding a secret that could make someone a millionaire overnight. Imagine a 2016 Lincoln penny, just sitting in your pocket change. But what if I told you it could be worth over $1 million? That's right, $1 million. And the craziest part? Most people have walked past this treasure hundreds of times without even noticing it. It all starts with a quiet year in U.S. coin history, 2016. The Lincoln penny had been circulating for decades, appearing in registers, vending machines, even couch cushions. Nobody suspected that this familiar coin was harboring a hidden secret. But one slight, nearly invisible detail, an error so small yet so powerful, changed everything. Collectors who knew how to spot it were quietly scooping them up for prices that seemed impossible. The story begins in a small minting facility, far from public view. The machines churned out coins, thousands per minute. And yet, one batch of pennies was struck slightly differently. A tiny variation in the die that created a subtle flaw. This flaw wasn't noticeable at first glance. You could hold the coin in your hand, and it would look like any other 2016 penny. But for those who knew what to look for, it was a once-in-a-lifetime find. A coin that could turn an ordinary day into a millionaire moment. Collectors first discovered this penny a few years after it was minted. Someone checking a handful of change noticed a peculiar ridge, a faint doubling on the lettering, almost imperceptible unless you knew where to look. Word spread quietly among coin enthusiasts. Prices started to soar, and by the time the news broke to the wider public, the lucky few who had found these coins were staring at over $1 million sitting in their hands. Now, let's reset for a moment and imagine this scenario personally. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sorting through last week's change. Nothing special. You pick up a shiny 2016 penny, roll it in your fingers, and pause. Something feels off. The lettering looks different, just slightly. Your heart races. You reach for a magnifying glass. That tiny ridge, that faint double detail, it's there. You realize you may have just found a coin worth over $1 million. First, look at the mint mark. The 2016 D mint mark is crucial. Not all pennies from 2016 carry this specific error. Next, examine the lettering. You're searching for what collectors call a doubled die. It's subtle. The words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" may appear slightly thicker or as if shadowed. Look closely at the date. Sometimes the numbers show signs of doubling. The ridge is faint but unmistakable once your eye is trained. These details are what separate an ordinary penny from a life-changing treasure. Pause and think about the rarity. Millions of 2016 pennies were produced, but only a handful carry this error. That's why the value skyrockets. Ordinary coins might buy you a cup of coffee, but this coin, this small piece of copper, has the potential to buy a home, fund dreams, or change a life entirely. The emotional weight of holding something so small, yet so powerful, is overwhelming. You realize the value is not just in the metal, it's in the story, the history, the chance of fortune hiding in plain sight. Every 1 to 2 minutes, take a moment to imagine the excitement. Someone, somewhere, just casually checking change at a gas station, discovers the ridge, notices the doubled letters. They pull out their phone, start researching, and the reality hits. Over $1 million. Their life just changed forever, all because they recognized what most people would overlook. That's the magic of coin collecting. That's the magic of paying attention to the tiniest details. Now, the penny itself. Look at Lincoln's face. The contours of his profile may show slight anomalies due to the minting error. Examine the rim. Is it perfectly smooth? Are there subtle bumps or doubled edges? These imperfections are clues. They tell a story of the minting process, of the rare error, and of the fortune waiting for someone observant enough to spot it. Handling it, feeling the weight, seeing the error with your own eyes, it's electrifying. It's like holding history and $1 million secret all at once. Patience is key. You can't just glance at a pile of pennies and expect to see this. You must study, compare, train your eye. Magnifying glass, good lighting, steady hands. Every tool helps. And the reward is immense. People have spent years refining this skill, and those who find one of these 2016 D Mint Mark pennies with the error are living proof that meticulous observation pays off. Each penny has a journey. And now, one tiny copper coin could complete a journey that ends with a life-changing fortune. That is the emotional power of this discovery. It's not just about money. It's about possibility, timing, luck, and the thrill of uncovering something rare and extraordinary. Reset again. Picture yourself holding the coin. Your heartbeat accelerates. You found it. You've discovered a penny that most people think is worthless. But you know better. You've learned to see what others can't. And in that moment, over $1 million isn't just a number, it's a reality. A dream materialized into something tangible, something you can hold, something that proves that attention to detail, curiosity, and persistence can create life-changing opportunities. Remember, every detail counts. The mint mark, the lettering, the ridge, the subtle doubling, they all matter. Miss one, and it's just a penny. Spot them all, and it's $1 million treasure hiding in plain sight. Imagine the potential. Family, friends, even strangers, watching as you reveal what was once hidden. The excitement, disbelief, and joy, all wrapped up in a coin that might have been under your couch cushion, in a drawer, or in your pocket change all along. And the final, mind-blowing truth is this. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. But for a handful of lucky collectors, that's exactly what happened with the 1977 D Lincoln penny. And today, I'm going to show you how to spot it before it disappears forever. The story begins in 1977, when the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of pennies for everyday use. Most were ordinary, destined for cash registers and tip jars. But hidden among them, in one particular batch, a small number of pennies were struck with an unusual error that would turn them into a modern treasure. Nobody at the time noticed. Nobody knew. Until decades later, when one lucky collector stumbled upon it while sorting change in his kitchen. What makes this coin so extraordinary is subtle. It's not the shiny copper, not the face of Lincoln, but the tiny D Mint mark. A simple letter stamped at the Denver Mint, which under the right conditions tells an incredible story. In some coins, the D was struck twice or slightly off-center, creating a rarity that collectors drool over. That tiny mark can instantly turn a humble penny into $1 million treasure. You might be thinking, could I really have one of these? The truth is, most people have no idea. Every day, ordinary Americans are tossing these coins in jars, slipping them into wallets, never realizing the fortune in their pocket. And the thrill comes from knowing that you might be the one to find it. Now, let me show you exactly how to identify this coin. First, examine the mint mark closely. On a standard 1977 D penny, the D sits perfectly below the date. On the rare $1 million version, look for doubling, misalignment, or a mark that appears thicker than usual. This is where a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe becomes your secret weapon. Don't rush. Take your time. This is the kind of detail that separates a normal coin from a historic fortune. Next, study the surface. True rarities often have a subtle imperfection, a tiny ridge, a small doubling of the design, something only noticeable if you know exactly what to look for. Compare it to a regular penny from the same year. The difference is subtle, but once you see it, it will be unforgettable. Condition matters, but not as much as you'd think. Even circulated coins, those that have passed through countless hands, can reach the $1 million mark if the mint error is present. That means you don't need a coin that looks like it just came out of the mint. You need the right coin. And that could be sitting in a jar on your desk or hiding in your pocket right now. The emotional journey of this coin is remarkable. Think about the family that unknowingly passed one down from generation to generation, the friends who dismissed it as a worthless penny. And then, one day, everything changes. One person notices it, one expert confirms it, and suddenly, life as they know it transforms overnight. Imagine holding a coin that instantly changes your financial future. $1 million discovery resting quietly in your hand. Every 1 to 2 minutes, you have to reset your attention. Look at your change differently. Check the pennies in your drawer. Look for that subtle mint mark, the tiny imperfections that tell a story decades in the making. This coin isn't flashy, it doesn't scream for attention, and that's exactly why it hides so well. But for the collector who knows the secret, it's the ultimate prize. History has a mysterious way of hiding treasure in plain sight. The 1977 D. Lincoln penny is proof that the ordinary can become extraordinary. A coin you've walked past 100 times at the store, a coin you may have dropped into a soda machine, could carry the power to change everything. It's almost poetic that the simplest objects can hold the most profound surprises. And when you finally see it, when that moment of recognition hits, it's not just about the money. It's the thrill, the connection to history, the understanding that someone else in 1977 could never imagine what that tiny D would mean decades later. You are holding a piece of the past that the future now values in the millions. Grab a magnifying glass, go to your coin jar, and examine every 1977 D penny you can find. Look for the subtle doubling, the imperfections, the mint mark that whispers a secret only a few have ever discovered. Remember, millions of coins were minted, but only a fraction hold this hidden fortune. Your diligence could be the difference between ordinary change and extraordinary wealth. Imagine telling your friends, your family, even complete strangers, that you found a penny worth over $1 million. The disbelief, the excitement, the life-changing possibilities, it's not a story for movies. It's happening right now in homes across America. And you could be next. Remember, every coin tells a story. Some coins are just coins. Others are legends. The 1977 D. Lincoln penny is one of those legends, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered by someone patient, careful, and observant. The story isn't over until it's found, and it could be found by you. So take a deep breath, examine your change with new eyes, and pay attention to the tiniest details. Because one day, that small, overlooked penny could turn your life upside down. One coin, one moment, one discovery. And when it happens, it's unforgettable. Yes, a single penny, minted in 1999, with no mint mark. The thought alone is enough to make your heart race. A penny, 1 cent. Yet history has hidden these treasures in plain sight for decades. Few people even realize they exist, and even fewer know exactly what to look for. This isn't a story about luck, it's about discovery, about being in the right place at the right time. Back in 1999, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, each one seemingly ordinary. Most went unnoticed, dropped in jars, piggy banks, and cash registers. But among them were a handful that were different, mistakes that would one day make millionaires out of ordinary collectors. The no-mint mark variety is one of these. It's subtle, almost impossible to spot if you don't know what you're looking for. The mystery begins with the minting process itself. Pennies are produced in massive quantities at two mints, Philadelphia and Denver. Each coin is stamped with a small letter indicating its origin, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver. But the 1999 no-mint mark penny skipped this step. Somehow, a tiny production error allowed these coins to escape, leaving them without the usual identifying mark. To the untrained eye, it looks like just another ordinary penny. But to the right collector, it's worth a fortune. The answer is rarity. Out of billions, only a few dozen of these no-mint mark pennies are known to exist. That scarcity turns what looks like a humble 1 cent coin into an almost magical object. Collectors are willing to pay millions because they know the story, they understand the mistake, and they recognize the thrill of holding a true anomaly in their hands. Spotting one. You need patience, a sharp eye, and knowledge. First, examine the obverse, the front side of the coin. Look for Lincoln's profile. Pay attention to the area where the mint mark should be, below the date, near the rim. If there's absolutely nothing there, you might be holding one of these extraordinary coins. Don't jump to conclusions. Many pennies can appear similar, so it's crucial to compare with verified examples. The tiniest details can mean millions of dollars. Next, check the coin's condition. A penny in pristine condition, free from scratches or wear, is worth exponentially more. That's because collectors value both the rarity and the quality. A flawless 1999 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny can fetch prices over $1 million. Yes, a single penny, 1 cent, can be worth that much. Imagine what that would do for your life. Paying off debts, buying a home, securing your family's future. It's easy to dismiss this as fantasy. Many people think, I'll never find something like that. But here's the truth. These coins are hiding everywhere. In jars, drawers, boxes of mixed change, forgotten rolls of pennies from the late 90s. People have found them in the most mundane places: the glove compartment of a car, a coin collection passed down from grandparents, even a random tip from a waitress. The thrill is in the discovery, the instant recognition that you've stumbled upon something priceless. The story doesn't end with finding it. Once you do, authentication is everything. Experts carefully examine the coin, looking at weight, metal composition, and microscopic details. It's this scrutiny that turns an ordinary penny into a verified million-dollar artifact. And here's the final secret. Once authenticated, collectors and dealers are willing to pay handsomely because they know they'll never see another like it again. Imagine holding that coin for the first time. The cold metal between your fingers, knowing that one tiny object has the power to change your life forever. That excitement, that sense of possibility, is why people hunt for coins like this. It's not just about money. It's about being part of a story that has spanned decades, about touching a piece of history that nearly no one else has experienced. And here's the most exciting part. The hunt can start right now. Check your old coin jars, examine your rolls of pennies from the late 90s, and look closely at each one. It might feel ordinary, it might feel insignificant, but to the right eye, it could be extraordinary. Remember, the difference between an ordinary penny and a million-dollar penny is almost invisible. Every few minutes, a story emerges of someone who found their fortune in the unlikeliest of places. Someone who never imagined a single coin could make them a millionaire. And yet, it happens more than you think. The thrill, the suspense, the life-changing discovery, it's all possible. It could happen to you. So, when you reach for that jar of pennies, when you sift through decades of loose change, remember the 1999 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Remember that somewhere out there, a coin worth over $1 million is waiting for the right person to recognize it. One small mistake by the mint has turned an ordinary coin into a legend. One small penny has the power to change everything. This is not a dream. This is history hiding in plain sight. And the truth is, it could be sitting quietly, unassuming, among the coins you've overlooked, ready to reveal its secret. It's hard to imagine that a coin minted in 2002, a coin you might have tossed in your pocket just yesterday, could hold a fortune. Yet that's exactly what collectors are discovering. The 2002 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Ordinary to the untrained eye, but a potential million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. The story of this penny begins not in some distant past, but quietly in the U.S. Mint, where a tiny mistake turned an everyday coin into a collector's holy grail. For reasons still debated among experts, a batch of pennies was released without the Philadelphia P mint mark. A small detail, invisible to most, but one that now can make a single penny worth, not just dollars, but $1 million. Imagine the panic, then the exhilaration, when collectors first discovered this anomaly. Coins that should have been common suddenly became priceless. People scrambled through jars, drawers, and forgotten piggy banks. Some found nothing. Others, unimaginable wealth. The answer is surprisingly simple, but it requires patience and attention. First, check the date. Only pennies minted in 2002 without a mint mark qualify. That's your first clue. Then, examine the D or S absence. If there's no mint mark, your heart should start racing. The details are subtle. Look closely at the lettering, the spacing, the edges. Professionals even use magnifying glasses and reference books to confirm authenticity, but the first step is just noticing the difference. Every minute, people are walking past fortunes without even realizing it. A single coin in your wallet or jar could change your life forever. The suspense builds because these pennies are rare. Only a handful are verified in existence, and yet the chance that one is in your possession is very real. Let me tell you a story. A man in Ohio was cleaning out his old change jar when he noticed a penny that looked just slightly off. He didn't know it at the time, but that small, copper disc was a 2002 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Within weeks, he was negotiating with collectors, stunned as offers soared into the millions. That ordinary coin had transformed his life overnight. But the truth is, this isn't just luck. It's about knowledge, awareness, and persistence. You can learn to identify these pennies. You can inspect every coin in your collection, every penny rolled at the bank, every faded copper disc with new eyes. Look for that missing mint mark. Examine the luster, the wear, the precise details of Lincoln's profile. It's a detective game, and the reward could be life-changing. Imagine holding a coin and realizing its story. That one penny witnessed history, traveled through countless hands, and survived decades unnoticed. And now, by chance or fate, it could be yours. The emotional weight of that realization is immense. A small object carrying the potential to make you a millionaire. Every 2 minutes, your attention resets because this coin demands it. You can't glance casually. You have to look, really look. Coins like this don't stay hidden forever. They are found, bought, and cherished. And every time one surfaces, collectors feel the same surge of excitement. The same heart-stopping thrill that a simple penny could be worth more than some people will earn in a lifetime. Authenticity is everything. A real 2002 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is verified by its absence of the mint mark and its alignment with official mint specifications. Any deviation or counterfeit will be obvious to professionals, but your first line of defense is careful observation. Train your eyes. Study images online. Compare your coins meticulously. This is the detective work that turns ordinary coin collectors into millionaires. Even if you think your jars of change are worthless, don't discard a single penny without checking. A seemingly insignificant coin could be hiding in your kitchen drawer, your car console, your coat pocket. Every overlooked coin is a potential fortune. Consider the collectors who found theirs. The stories are electric. Ordinary people, surprised beyond belief. They were shocked, thrilled, inspired. They went from mundane routines to negotiating million-dollar deals with dealers who barely believed their luck. And all because of a small detail, a missing mint mark, that anyone can learn to spot. So as you sift through coins, think about the possibilities. Each one could be hiding a secret. Each one could change your life. And remember, it only takes one coin, one 2002 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, to go from ordinary to extraordinary. Don't underestimate what's sitting unnoticed in your collection. Don't dismiss the pennies you've been ignoring for years. Study them, inspect them, dream of what could be, and let the suspense thrill you, because this is a real treasure story happening today, right now, around the country. You may be sitting in your living room right now, and it could be right there in your pocket change. Most people walk past it every day without even realizing it. The story begins in 1982, a year of change in the United States, when the U.S. Mint started producing pennies from copper-plated zinc instead of pure copper. But some coins slipped through the cracks, mistakes that now send collectors into a frenzy. These rare pennies are invisible to the untrained eye, yet to the right collector, they are nothing short of treasure. It's incredible to think that something so small, so ordinary, could be worth more than some houses on the market. A single coin from 1982, with no mint mark, has been confirmed to sell for over $1 million. One coin, one chance. That's the level of rarity we're talking about. Let me take you back to a quiet afternoon when a retired teacher found one of these coins in a jar of change at her home. She had been sorting coins for years, but didn't notice anything unusual. That is until a keen-eyed friend pointed out the unusual metal composition. It was all zinc, with no trace of copper. That's when the realization hit. She was holding a $1 million coin in her hand. First, check the date. Only pennies marked 1982 and lacking a mint mark are in the running. Next, weigh it carefully. A normal 1982 penny weighs 2.5 grams if it's copper or 2.5 grams of zinc. Actually, the zinc version weighs 2.5 grams, while the copper version weighs slightly more, 3.11 grams. Every fraction matters. Now, look at the color and texture. A zinc penny is lighter, with a slightly silver hue compared to its reddish copper counterparts. You need sharp eyes for this. Many have missed their fortune because they overlooked subtle differences in color and weight. Imagine finding one of these pennies in your spare change while buying a coffee. One ordinary moment could turn into the most extraordinary day of your life. But that's not just fantasy. There are documented cases where ordinary coins hidden in jars, drawers, even car ashtrays have turned into million-dollar treasures. The mystery behind these coins deepens when you learn how few were actually produced. Mint records show that only a tiny fraction of 1982 no-mint mark pennies slipped through in pure zinc, making them nearly impossible to find. This scarcity is what drives collectors into a frenzy, creating a market where one lucky coin can fetch over $1 million. Think about the emotions involved: the disbelief, the joy, the thrill of knowing you hold something others would give anything for. It's not just money, it's history, mystery, and the chance to be part of a rare moment that most people will never experience. Focus on circulation coins, not pristine proof sets. These are the coins people accidentally spent or saved without realizing their true value. Check every jar, drawer, and box you have. Many million-dollar coins have been found in the least likely places, a testament to the unpredictability of fortune that it's also important to handle the coin carefully. Even fingerprints can affect its value. Use gloves, a soft cloth, and take your time examining the details. Look for subtle differences in color, weight, and the crispness of the numbers on the coin. This is a hunt where patience pays off in the most dramatic way imaginable. Imagine calling your friends, showing them a simple penny, and watching their jaws drop when you tell them what it's worth. The excitement, the disbelief, the sudden awareness that your life could change forever. That's the reality of holding a 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Collectors have paid millions of dollars for rare coins, and yet most people have no idea they could be sitting on a similar fortune in their own homes. It's a reminder that treasure often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone brave, curious, and observant enough to notice it. Even the slightest detail matters: the year, the mint mark, or lack thereof, and the metal composition. Each factor multiplies the coin's rarity and value, turning an ordinary penny into a potential million-dollar jackpot. So, the next time you empty your pockets, sort your loose change, or rummage through an old jar of coins, take a closer look. The coin that seems ordinary could be extraordinary. One wrong glance could mean missing out on life-changing wealth. Collectors worldwide have made fortunes by paying attention to these tiny details, but luck plays a role too. You can study, learn, and search meticulously, yet fortune favors the patient and the observant. That's the thrill, the suspense, and the inspiration behind the 1982 no-mint mark penny. That it's hard to believe that a coin you could carry in your wallet, spend on a vending machine, or forget in a pocket could be worth over $1 million. But history proves it again and again. Fortune hides in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. It's a story, a secret, and a tangible piece of history that could elevate your life in an instant. The thrill, the drama, the possibility, it's all there, waiting for the next person who notices the subtle details others overlook. Imagine the possibilities. That coin could fund dreams, secure futures, or simply stand as the rarest artifact in your collection. Its value is more than financial. It's emotional, historical, and profoundly personal. Every penny tells a story, but this one tells a story of unimaginable fortune. One glance could change everything. One careful inspection could make you part of history. Yet, this tiny coin, tucked somewhere in a pocket, a jar, or a drawer, could be worth over $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. One penny, one piece of copper, worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. It all begins with 1981, a year of normalcy, of quiet transactions, of pennies changing hands for a mere 1 cent. But hidden in that year's production was a rare anomaly. Unlike the pennies you see clinking in cash registers, this particular coin bears no mint mark. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, nothing. To the untrained eye, it's just another penny. But to collectors, it's a treasure beyond imagination. The story behind this penny is as mysterious as the coin itself. The U.S. Mint, for reasons still debated, accidentally struck a limited number of 1981 pennies without the mint mark. How many exist? Only a handful. And because so few survived in pristine condition, the rarity makes them a magnet for collectors willing to pay shocking amounts. This isn't just about copper and metal. It's about history, chance, and the thrill of discovery. Imagine opening an old coin jar, sifting through decades of change, when suddenly your eyes catch something that looks slightly different. That difference, subtle but unmistakable, is your ticket to $1 million payday. The 1981 no mint mark penny is slightly lighter, slightly smoother in the area where the mint mark should be. The absence of that tiny D or S isn't just a detail, it's everything. That missing mark transforms a common penny into a potential fortune. But recognizing this coin requires a keen eye. First, check the date. It must be 1981. Next, examine the area just below the date, where a mint mark usually appears. If the coin is completely blank there, you found something extraordinary. Hold it up to the light. Rotate it slowly. That small, empty space is the defining characteristic, the sign that this penny is part of a story few people even know exists. Collectors will tell you that condition matters. A penny with scratches, dents, or corrosion can lose thousands of dollars in value. The closer it is to its original, untouched state, the more likely it is to fetch a price that will shock your friends and family. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate it, and once verified, suddenly a simple copper coin could command offers in the seven-figure range. $1 million offers for something most people throw away without a second thought. The excitement doesn't stop there. Imagine the people who found one of these pennies decades ago and tossed it into a jar, thinking, well, it's just a penny. Today, that same coin is a story of luck, timing, and fortune. It's proof that life-changing wealth can hide in the most mundane places. One moment it's forgotten, the next it's worth over $1 million. The emotional roller coaster for collectors discovering such coins is indescribable. Heart racing, hands trembling, disbelief mixed with exhilaration. Counterfeit 1981 no mint mark pennies exist, often created by filing down the mint mark on a common coin. That's why it's crucial to inspect the coin carefully. Authentic coins have a consistent color, weight, and edge, and the absence of a mint mark is clean, not artificially altered. A magnifying glass can help, and comparing it to a standard 1981 penny can reveal the subtle differences that confirm authenticity. The odds may seem slim, but the payoff is legendary. Collectors across the country have stumbled upon pennies like this without even knowing what they were holding. And when they realized it, they experienced pure disbelief followed by the joy of a lifetime. Consider the thrill of showing this penny to a dealer. Watch their eyes widen. Hear the gasp. Feel the tension as they weigh its authenticity and its value. $1 million deals start with a simple, unassuming object, and for the person who holds it, life changes instantly. This isn't just a coin. It's a story, a piece of history, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Even if you've never collected coins before, this penny is within reach. It doesn't require a massive investment, just awareness, curiosity, and a willingness to look closely at the coins you already have. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just rare. It's an invitation to uncover hidden fortune. It challenges the way we see everyday objects and reminds us that treasure often lies where we least expect it. Time and time again, stories emerge of ordinary people finding extraordinary coins. They discover them in jars, in rolls, in loose change, in places you'd never imagine. And suddenly, a piece of metal no bigger than your thumb becomes worth more than a car, a house, or even some people's entire life savings. One coin, one discovery, one opportunity to change everything. History is waiting in the smallest details. That tiny space below the date, where a mint mark should be, could be the doorway to unimaginable wealth. The 1981 no mint mark penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, luck, and the extraordinary hiding in plain sight. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary pennies could be worth over $1 million? Not 10,000, not 100,000, a full $1.3 million. And it's hiding in plain sight that it's called the 1990 D. Lincoln penny, and most people would never suspect its true value. The story behind it is shrouded in mystery. Minted during a year when pennies were meant to be common, one small error created a coin so rare, collectors are willing to pay unimaginable sums to get their hands on it. The very same coins that seem ordinary to you could be life-changing to someone else. Here's what makes this penny extraordinary. It all starts with the D mint mark, Denver. The 1990 D pennies were supposed to be standard circulation coins, struck perfectly. But a small number came out with subtle variations in the strike, slight doubling on the date, or an off-center impression. These anomalies make the coin almost magical in the eyes of collectors. The tiniest detail can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth millions. Now, imagine walking down your street, sorting through your old change, and coming across a 1990 D penny. You don't think twice. It's just a penny. But if you know what to look for, you could be holding the key to $1.3 million. The thrill is in the hunt, in spotting something ordinary that everyone else overlooks. Let's break down exactly how to identify this coin. First, check the date, 1990. Look at the D mint mark under Lincoln's bust. Then examine the coin's surface. Is there doubling on the numbers? Does the mint mark look unusual, almost like it was stamped twice? Sometimes the penny appears slightly off-center. These tiny imperfections, invisible to the untrained eye, are what turn an everyday penny into a treasure. Collectors have spent years chasing these coins. Some found them in old jars, some in drawers untouched for decades. And the best part? You don't have to travel far. It could be sitting in your pocket change or tucked away in a box of old coins you inherited. The odds feel slim, but every single 1990 D Lincoln penny carries the potential to change a life. The emotional weight of finding this penny is incredible. Imagine the disbelief, the heart racing, the moment you realize what you're holding is not just a coin, but a ticket to a completely different life. This isn't just collecting, it's destiny in your hands. The power of one small piece of metal is staggering. Now, here's a tip collectors swear by. Hold the coin under a strong light, turn it slowly, and inspect every angle. The shine, the texture, the tiniest anomalies in the strike. These details tell a story that most people will never notice. The story of a coin that could be worth over $1 million, sitting unnoticed while life passes by. Imagine showing this penny to a dealer. Watch their eyes widen. Hear the disbelief in their voice. That moment, that instant, is why people chase coins like the 1990 D Lincoln penny. It's not just about money. It's about proving to yourself that you found something extraordinary where everyone else sees ordinary. Could one overlooked penny be the difference between ordinary life and unimaginable wealth? History says yes. There have been countless cases where someone picked up a single coin from a drawer or a jar and suddenly held a fortune. And now, the 1990 D Lincoln penny is your chance. The truth is, most people will never recognize it. Most people pass it by, toss it in the cup with spare change, never knowing it could be worth $1 million. That's what makes it so thrilling, so suspenseful, so heart-pounding. Every coin could be the one, and most aren't looking closely enough to notice. Remember, the identifying details are subtle. Focus on the date, the D mint mark, and the small anomalies in the strike. Compare with regular pennies. The differences are tiny, but in the world of coin collecting, tiny is everything. One slight misalignment, one doubled number, one unusual mark, and suddenly, you're holding history. Collectors don't just pay attention to the obvious. They study, they examine, they hold coins under magnification, searching for the telltale signs. That kind of dedication turns ordinary change into extraordinary fortune. And now, that knowledge is in your hands that it's more than money. It's the thrill of discovery, the story you can tell about a coin that seemed unremarkable until the moment it transformed a life. The suspense, the mystery, the life-altering potential. It's all wrapped up in that little copper disc. And here's the kicker. It's not just theory. 1990 D Lincoln pennies with these anomalies have sold for $1.3 million. One coin, one moment, one person's incredible stroke of luck. That could be you. The next story we tell about a life-changing coin could be yours. The ordinary can hide the extraordinary. One glance, one careful inspection, one moment of attention, that's all it takes. The rest is destiny. You never know when you might stumble on the coin that turns everything upside down. So take another look at your collection, your jar, your drawer of coins. Examine the pennies you've ignored for years. Look for that 1990 D with subtle anomalies. Imagine the possibilities. Imagine the life that could change in a single instant. But what if I told you that one tiny coin from 1979 could be worth over $1 million? and it could be hiding in plain sight in your own drawer. Imagine holding a piece of history, a piece of wealth, and a piece of mystery all at once. That's exactly what the 1979 D Lincoln penny represents. And today, you're about to discover why collectors are absolutely obsessed with it. It all begins with a year that most of us barely remember, 1979. A year of disco fading into rock, of the American economy on shaky ground, and the U.S. Mint quietly producing coins without knowing one mistake would turn a simple penny into a treasure worth $1 million. Not everyone knows this, but some coins that year were struck with a rare double die, a subtle error that makes the numbers and letters on the penny appear doubled, almost like a ghostly echo. To the untrained eye, it looks normal, almost ordinary. But to collectors, this anomaly is the golden ticket. Now, let's rewind a bit. Imagine a mint worker, day after day, feeding coins into the presses. A single slip, a tiny misalignment, imperceptible to most. But that's all it takes. That tiny error creates a rarity, and rarity in the world of coin collecting can instantly become a fortune. This is exactly what happened with the 1979 D Lincoln penny. Only a handful of these error coins exist. That means very few people in the world will ever get to see one, hold one, or even know its true value. First, you need to look closely at the date. On the 1979 D penny, the numbers may appear slightly thicker or doubled, especially the 7 and the 9. Then, examine the word Liberty. On genuine error coins, letters might appear split, raised, or overlapping. It's subtle. You'll need good light, maybe even a magnifying glass. But once you spot it, your heart will race, because you're holding a coin that could transform your life. Collectors have spent years chasing these coins, digging through rolls and rolls of pennies from banks, garages, and old jars of change. Some have traveled across states, hoping to spot the doubling that signals $1 million treasure. It's not just about money. It's about holding history, a physical piece of a moment in time that slipped through the cracks. And here's the thing. This coin doesn't just sit quietly in collections. When one shows up at auction, it causes a frenzy. Dealers, collectors, even casual treasure hunters suddenly fight over it. Because a single 1979 D Lincoln penny can fetch over $1 million, sometimes even more depending on its condition. A coin that once bought a candy bar now has the power to change lives. But let's take a moment to picture it in your hands. You reach into a jar of pennies. One catches your eye. The glint is familiar, but something about it feels different. You pull it out. You squint. And there it is, the tiny, almost invisible doubling of the numbers, the subtle split in the letters. You can hardly believe it. What was once pocket change has just become a fortune. This is the moment collectors dream of, the moment that turns an ordinary day into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And it's not just about the potential money. Holding a coin like this connects you to the past. You feel the hands that made it, the history it has witnessed, the journey it has taken from the mint to possibly decades in someone's pocket. And now finally, maybe to you. It's thrilling, it's emotional, and it's real. Every so often, someone finds a coin like this completely by accident, in a drawer, a box, or a forgotten coin roll. No searching, no planning, just pure luck. But now that you know what to look for, you have an advantage. You know the year, the mint mark, the doubling, and the letters to inspect. Every penny you hold could be hiding the secret. Every jar could contain the discovery of a lifetime. Imagine telling your friends or family, or even just sitting quietly with it in your hand, knowing that a single coin is worth $1 million. That feeling, disbelief, excitement, awe, is something no bank account or stock portfolio can replicate. This is treasure in its purest form. A tangible, hold-it-in-your-hand fortune that started as something almost no one even noticed. It's still out there. Thousands of these coins were minted, but only a tiny fraction survive in this rare error form. That means the next discovery could be yours. The next millionaire could be someone checking their old change jar right now. Someone just like you. The universe sometimes hides its greatest rewards in the simplest places. A penny, a drawer, a moment of curiosity. Not all pennies are equal. Some are hiding unimaginable wealth. A story waiting to be uncovered. A once-in-a-lifetime discovery, just waiting for your eyes to notice it. But what if I told you one of those tiny coins in your pocket could actually be worth over $1 million? Imagine holding a piece of history that could transform your life overnight. Today, we're diving into a story so incredible, most collectors don't believe it until they see it for themselves. The IT all starts in 1998 at the Denver Mint. That year, millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off the presses, routine, ordinary, unnoticed. But hidden among them were a handful of coins with a rare variation that collectors now call the 1998 D. Lincoln penny error. One mistake on the minting line turned an everyday penny into a treasure worth over $1 million. A single penny, small enough to disappear between the couch cushions, but powerful enough to make someone rethink everything they know about collecting. How could something so tiny hold such value? It's not just the metal, not just the design. It's the story, the rarity, and the mystery wrapped into that copper disc. Now, the fascinating part is that no one knows exactly how many of these coins exist. The mint didn't keep a record of the error, and collectors stumbled upon them by accident. One coin dealer described it as finding a diamond in a haystack. Except this diamond can literally change your life. If you want to know whether you might already own one of these rare coins, here's what to look for. First, check the D mint mark, that tiny letter under the date. On this penny, it can appear doubled or slightly misplaced. Next, examine the date itself. The digits might show signs of doubling, appearing bolder or slightly shifted. Under bright light, some collectors notice a faint ridge or extra line that shouldn't be there. It's subtle, almost impossible to spot unless you know exactly what to look for. That I remember hearing about a man who bought a small bag of pennies at a garage sale. He was sorting through them on his kitchen table when he noticed something unusual about one coin. The way the light caught the D mint mark made it glow differently, almost as if it was calling to him. That single penny turned out to be the 1998 D. Lincoln error, a coin now valued at over $1 million. Imagine what it would feel like to discover something like that. The thrill, the disbelief, the realization that something ordinary could hold unimaginable wealth. But it's not just about money. It's about the story, the history, and the connection to a moment frozen in time. Every scratch, every ridge, every tiny mistake tells a story no one else can replicate. The coin's surface can reveal its secret. Look for inconsistencies in the lettering, especially around Lincoln's profile. Some coins show faint doubling near the rim, a tiny echo of the minting error that makes this penny so valuable. Even a small magnifying glass can reveal the difference between an ordinary penny and one worth millions. Collectors often tell stories of checking their loose change, their drawers, even their glove compartments, hoping against hope that a 1998 D. Lincoln penny might be hiding in plain sight. It sounds unbelievable, but history proves time and again that ordinary people stumble upon extraordinary finds. The idea that your life could change with one glance at your pocket change is exactly what makes this coin so captivating. And let's not forget the emotional weight of this discovery. Imagine being the person who first realizes what they're holding. A rush of excitement, fear, joy, and disbelief all at once. One moment, it's just a penny. The next, it's a ticket to a life you never imagined. A penny that could mean freedom from financial stress, a chance to finally follow your dreams, or the excitement of knowing you've uncovered something few people will ever see. If you want to test your luck, start with the coins in circulation from 1998. Separate the pennies with a D mint mark, then examine them under light. Look for doubling, anomalies, misaligned letters, or faint extra lines. Patience is key. It could take hours, but the reward is potentially life-changing. One coin could be worth $1 million. There's also the community of collectors who can help. Sharing images with experienced numismatists or posting them in online forums can help verify whether your coin is truly the rare 1998 D. Lincoln. Every collector knows the thrill of discovery, the suspense as you wait for confirmation, and the satisfaction when the truth is finally revealed. Even the smallest details matter. Tiny scratches, unusual wear patterns, or an unexpected ridge can make the difference between an ordinary penny and $1 million treasure. This is why careful observation is not just recommended, it's essential. Those who take the time to study every coin are often the ones who stumble upon the impossible. This isn't just a story about money. It's about curiosity, persistence, and the joy of uncovering secrets hidden in plain sight. Each coin carries a story, and the 1998 D. Lincoln penny tells a story that could change your life forever. What seems ordinary could be extraordinary. That shiny penny in your pocket, your drawer, or even under the sofa cushion could hold a secret the world has been waiting to discover. Millions of collectors search for these rare coins every day, and sometimes the coin you've overlooked is the one worth more than $1 million. I'm talking about a life-altering, mind-boggling, over $1 million kind of change. Yes, one penny, hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting for someone like you to notice it. Now, before you think this is just another internet exaggeration, let me take you back. The story of the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is as mysterious as it is fascinating. Most pennies from 1972 were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and they carried a subtle P mint mark, or rather, they should have. But a rare few slipped through the cracks. Somehow, a small batch never received a mint mark at all. These pennies were lost, overlooked, and essentially invisible to collectors for decades. They were just ordinary pennies, until now. Imagine being a young collector in the early 1970s, eagerly hunting through change, oblivious that a single coin could one day be worth $1.6 million. It's almost impossible to believe. Yet here we are, decades later, with stories of collectors suddenly realizing their childhood treasures are worth unimaginable sums. The idea that something so small could carry such weight, such value, is almost poetic. But how do you even begin to spot this hidden treasure? First, you need to know exactly what you're looking for. Every 1972 penny has Lincoln on the front, sitting there with that familiar gaze, a symbol of American history. But the difference? The absence of a mint mark. Look closely at the area just below the date on the obverse side. Most pennies will have a tiny letter, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint usually left it blank, but in 1972, nearly every penny received a subtle P. The no-mint mark variety is extraordinarily rare. Your eye needs to catch that blank spot where most coins carry a mark. Now, don't let your heart race too fast just yet. The rarity is real, but so is the possibility of mistakes. Wear and tear can obscure the details, and some pennies were heavily circulated, making identification tricky. This is why careful inspection matters. Hold the coin under a bright light. Tilt it slightly. Look for die characteristics, the depth of the strike, and the precise shape of the numerals and the date. These are the clues that separate an ordinary penny from a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Consider the emotional impact for a moment. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could make $1 million difference. That's more than just financial gain. That's a story, a legacy, a connection to history. The idea that something so ordinary, something you might find in a jar of loose change, could alter your entire future is staggering. Every penny tells a story, but this one? It tells a story of hidden fortune and the thrill of discovery. Collectors who have found this coin often describe the moment as surreal. They'll tell you their hearts raced, their hands shook, and their minds struggled to comprehend the reality. This isn't just about money. It's about the idea that luck, timing, and knowledge can converge into one fleeting, perfect moment. That moment could be yours. The more you know, the higher your chances of finding this rare penny. Learn the specific characteristics. Study the font of the date. Compare circulation patterns. Examine the edge of the coin. Every small detail can lead you closer to identifying a genuine 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Knowledge is your secret weapon in a hunt where millions are at stake. Now, don't get discouraged if your first few searches turn up empty. The beauty of coin collecting is that every search is a story, every discovery is a thrill, and the possibility of finding something priceless keeps the excitement alive. Imagine the thrill when you finally spot that blank mint mark, when the realization hits that you're holding a penny worth $1.6 million. It's a mixture of disbelief, joy, and awe that few experiences can match. Every collector dreams of that moment, and now you have the blueprint. The key is vigilance and patience. Check your pocket change, coin rolls, old jars, or even inherited collections. The 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be anywhere. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't make noise. It waits quietly, perfectly ordinary to the untrained eye, until someone recognizes its true value. Think about the stories this penny has witnessed. From cash registers to piggy banks, From childhood games to decades of quiet circulation, this coin has traveled through history unseen, unappreciated until now. Its journey is a testament to the unexpected ways treasure hides in the most ordinary places. And it's not just a story of coins. It's a story about patience, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery that connects all collectors, young and old. Pay attention. Look carefully. Every detail matters. The mint mark, the font, the circulation pattern. These are the things that separate an ordinary penny from a life-changing discovery. And remember, this isn't theoretical. People are holding this coin today, and they've seen their lives transform in ways they never imagined. The possibility exists for you too. Every few minutes, I want you to reset your focus. Imagine the moment you pick up a penny and it feels different. It might look the same as every other penny in your hand, but that tiny absence of a mint mark tells a different story. A story of wealth, of history, of a chance that very few people ever experience. This coin doesn't just offer financial reward. It offers the story of discovery. It's about the thrill of finding something no one else noticed, of understanding something overlooked by the masses. That is the essence of collecting, the blend of history, luck, and insight. Keep your eyes open, keep your hands ready, and most importantly, keep your mind curious. Every jar of coins, every old collection, every roll of pennies could contain this extraordinary coin. And when you finally find it, when the realization hits, you'll understand why collectors chase these rare pennies with such passion. So, don't wait. Start examining your coins today. Study the 1972 pennies in your collection. Look at the details, compare them to verified examples, and if you spot that rare blank spot where the mint mark should be, you might be holding a fortune. A fortune that could turn a simple hobby into a life-altering event, $1 million